The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has confirmed cases of anthrax disease in a mixed livestock farm in Niger State. On the 13th of July 2023, the sudden death of livestock in this farm with 8 mortality was reported.
Anthrax is a serious zoonotic disease that affects most mammals and several species of birds, but in particular, it is important in herbivorous. The word anthrax is derived from a Greek word meaning charcoal or carbuncle. Anthrax, the disease, likely originated 6,000 to 7,000 years ago in Mesopotamia and Egypt, where agricultural civilization was first recorded. Scientific literature first contained a reference of anthrax in 1769 by the scientist Fournier.
Bacillus anthracis is a gram-positive rod that exists in 2 forms, the vegetative bacillus and the spores. Within an infected host, spores germinate to produce the vegetative forms, which eventually kills the host. These bacilli are released by the dying or dead animals into the environment, usually spores, under the carcass. There they sporulate, ready to be taken up by another animal. Anthrax is a serious infectious disease caused by a gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria known as Bacillus anthracis. Anthrax can be found commonly in soil, and it commonly affects the domestic and wild animals around the world. The spores of the bacteria can exist in the environment for years or decades, awaiting uptake by the next host. The disease still exists in animals and humans in most countries of sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, in several southern European countries, in the Americas, and certain areas of Australia.
Causative agent. The causative agent of anthrax disease is Bacillus anthracis. Types of anthrax. Basically, there are 4 types of anthrax, namely 1. Cutaneous anthrax, 2. Inhalation anthrax, 3. Gastrointestinal anthrax, and 4. Injection anthrax.
Bacillus anthracis can be contacted through the following routes. 1. Contact with tissue of animals such as cattle, sheep, goats, horse, and pig dying of the diseases. 2. Biting flies that are partially on such animals. 3. Contact with contaminated air, wool, hides, or products that are made from them, such as drums, brushes, rocks, etc. 4. Contact with soil associated with infected animals or with contaminated bone meal used in the gardening. 5. Inhalation of anthrax results from inhalation of spores in risky industrial processes such as tanning hides and processing of wool in an enclosed, poorly ventilated area. 6. Intestinal and oropharyngeal anthraces may arise from ingestion of contaminated uncooked meat. 7. The disease spread among grazing animals through contaminated soil, feed among omnivorous and carnivorous animals through contaminated meat, bone meal, or other feeds derived from infected carcass.
Note: anthrax is not contagious, which means you can't catch anthrax from another person like the cold or flu. Signs and symptoms. The signs and symptoms of anthrax depend on the type of infection. 1. Cutaneous anthrax. A group of small blisters or bumps that may itch. Swelling can occur around the sore. A painless skin sore with a black center that appears after the small blister or bump. Most often, the sore will be on the face, neck, arm, or hand. 2. Inhalation anthrax. Fever and chill, chest discomfort, shortness of breath, confusion or dizziness, cough, nausea, vomiting or stomach pain, sweat, etc. 3. Gastrointestinal anthrax. Fever and chill, swelling of the neck or neck gland, sore throat, painful swallowing, nausea and vomiting, especially bloody vomiting, diarrhea or bloody diarrhea, swelling of the abdomen, stomach pain, flushing, that is red face and red eyes.
Incubation period. In cutaneous and gastrointestinal anthrax, the incubation period is 1 to 7 days, up to 17 days, while in inhalation anthrax, the incubation period is a week or 2 months and above.
Who is at risk? Most people will never be exposed to anthrax. However, there are some activities that can put some people in a greater risk of anthrax. The following are those at a greater risk of anthrax disease: the laboratory worker who handle anthrax, people who handle animal products such as wool, hide or hair, people in a certain occupation like veterinarian, farmer, livestock producers, and travelers.
Prevention and control measures. The following measures will help curtail the spread of anthrax: vaccination of high-risk persons using anthrax vaccine, health education to the people, especially those at risk, immunization of domestic animals at risk annually, constant washing of hands with soap and water, exposed individuals should visit their healthcare authorities immediately, isolation, concrete disinfection, investigation of contact tracing, specific treatments.
Diagnosis. There are tests used to diagnose anthrax, which include the blood test, the skin test, the stool sample, and the spinal tap. What is spinal tap? Spinal tap is a procedure that uses a small amount of fluid that surrounds the brain and the spinal cord. We also have the chest x-rays and endoscopy. Endoscopy, on the other hand, is a test that uses a small tube that is attached to a camera, and it is used to examine the esophagus and the intestine. If being detected with enteritis, your test will be taken to a public health department laboratory for confirmation.
Treatment. Treatment for anthrax depends if you have developed symptoms or not. If you are exposed to anthrax and have no symptoms, your doctor will begin preventive treatment. Preventive treatment consists of antibiotics and the anthrax vaccine. If you have been exposed to anthrax and have symptoms, your doctor will treat you with antibiotics for 60 to 100 days. Examples of antibiotics include ciprofloxacin or doxycycline. Mental treatments include an antitoxin therapy that eliminates the toxins caused by Bacillus enteritis infection as opposed to attacking the bacteria itself.